Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're trading our scuba gear for, I don't know, maybe some proton packs. Okay, not really, but we are diving into a beloved 90s classic that dealt with some spooky themes, right? We're talking Casper, the one from 1995.
A ghost story with heart.
Exactly. Get ready for some heartwarming moments, some ghostly shenanigans, and maybe even a tear or two. I know, I've got my tissues ready.
Yeah, it's really fascinating to revisit this film, you know. On the surface, it's a fun family movie, but there are like all these layers of grief and friendship and the meaning of moving on, and they really stay with you even years later.
Right. You said it. Okay, so picture this. We're in the incredibly creepy Whipstaff Manor. It's been recently inherited by this heiress named Kerrigan Crittenden.
Uh,
And let me tell you, she makes Cruella de Vil look downright warm and fuzzy.
Oh, yeah.
So she and her lawyer, Dibbs, they discover a treasure map hidden in the manor.
Yeah.
And that's where things get really interesting.
Right, because Whipstaff is home to way more than just cobwebs and secret passageways. Like, enter Casper.
Casper.
Yeah, this friendly ghost who just wants to make friends. Which is, you know, it's kind of heartwarmingly ironic considering he's, well...
He's a ghost.
Exactly.
And let's not forget, he's got a pretty unique family dynamic, to say the least. I mean, his uncles, Stretch, Stinky, and Fatso,
Oh, tell me about it.
they're basically agents of chaos. They just find endless amusement in scaring the wits out of anyone who dares to step foot in that manor.
Oh, yeah. But the film actually does a really good job of, you know, establishing the rules of this ghost world. Like, these ghosts, they're tethered to the mortal realm because of unfinished business.
Right, unfinished business.
Yeah. And for Casper, it's his forgotten past and this, like, yearning for connection, but for his uncles.
Well, their idea of unfinished business seems to involve a lot more slime and spooky sound effects, you know.
Yeah. And speaking of connections, that brings us to Kat and her dad, James, who, by the way, is a therapist.
Oh, right.
So they get tangled up in Casper's world when James gets hired to, wait for it, help the ghosts move on.
What?
Like therapy for ghosts.
Now, if that's not an unconventional approach to therapy, I don't know what is.
Seriously. But you know what's so fascinating about this whole setup? It's how the film explores this idea of shared loneliness between Kat and Casper. They're both kind of like outsiders in their own ways.
So-
And that creates this bond, this real connection that transcends like life and death, you know?
Totally. Like when Casper tries to impress Kat by making her breakfast, even though, he can't actually touch anything.
Oh, yeah.
It's both hilarious and heartwarming to see him try.
Absolutely. And their friendship, it really blossoms in that attic scene where Casper gets his memories back from playing with his old toys.
Oh, I love that scene.
But it's, you know, it's heartbreaking when we find out he died so young just from playing outside too long in the snow.
Oh.
But it adds this whole other layer to his character. You know, he's not just a ghost. He was once a child who, like, experienced the full spectrum of human emotions.
It really makes you think, right? Like, it reminds us that every ghost has a story, a past that, shaped who they are, even in death.
Right.
And in the middle of all those recovered memories, there's this glimmer of hope. Like, there's this newspaper clipping about Casper's dad, and he invented this machine that could bring the dead back to life.
Whoa. Okay, so talk about a game changer, right?
Right.
And naturally that leads to like this whole new adventure, especially with Kerrigan and Dibbs, because they're still trying to get that hidden treasure.
Oh, yeah.
Which, when you know it, leads them to that same lab where Casper's dad worked on the Lazarus machine.
It's like the film is so clever about how it intertwines those two storylines, the ones that seem so separate at first. You've got greed, and then you've got the search for redemption. It all collides.
Yeah. And then when Kerrigan falls and becomes a ghost too, it's like, whoa. It's like a cautionary tale almost. It shows you just how far someone will go to like cheat death.
Oh, totally. And we can't forget about Dibbs. I mean, his line when he realizes he's stuck in the afterlife with Kerrigan. So, like, you can't scare me. I'm spending the afterlife with you. I mean, come on, that's gold.
Classic Dibbs.
Right. But it's those moments, that remind us that Casper can be really funny, even though it deals with these, kind of darker themes.
Oh, for sure. And amidst all that chaos, we find out that the real treasure, it's not a chest full of gold or anything. It's actually just like a baseball signed by Duke Snyder. It's a reminder that sentimental value, it means more than all the money in the world.
Oh, I love that. It's those details, those small details that just make Casper so, I don't know, heartwarming.
It's true.
But then just when you think everything's looking up for Casper and the gang, tragedy strikes.
Again. Poor James. Who knew a night out with the ghostly trio would turn out so well? Let's just say those ghostly hijinks, they took an unfortunate turn. Be careful what you wish for.
Right. One minute they're painting the town red, and I mean literally.
Literally.
And the next, well.
Yeah.
But I think what I really appreciate is how the film can be lighthearted and funny one minute, and then it's got you in your feels the next.
Yeah.
It just works.
It's true. And in those moments of crisis, we see Casper's true nature. He's got the chance to be human again, right? But he chooses to use the Lazarus machine on James instead.
Wow. Talk about a friend. He basically chooses connection over his own, deepest desire.
It's selfless, really.
Totally. And then there's that scene with Cass' mom, Amelia, when she appears as an angel to comfort Casper.
Oh, yeah. So beautiful.
It just, I don't know, reinforces that whole idea that love and compassion are so strong, they can even transcend death.
Definitely. And I love what Amelia tells James at the party. She's like, stop trying to contact me. I have no unfinished business.
Oh, I know. Right in the middle of the party, too. But seriously, how powerful is that message? About letting go and embracing life after loss. It's like moving on doesn't mean forgetting, right? It means keeping those memories close, but also finding a way to be at peace in the present.
So well said. And I love how the film manages to weave these really profound messages into what's supposed to be a lighthearted ghost story.
Right. And hold on. Don't forget about the ghostly trio. They actually do something kind of nice, too. They scare off those bullies who were messing with Cab at the dance.
Oh, I had forgotten about that. Even those three knuckleheads have some good in them.
Right. It's moments like that that make Casper so charming,
Totally. Speaking of charming, that ending scene with Casper as a ghost again, scaring everyone at the dance, except for Kat and James, of course.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Genius. It's the perfect blend of spooky and sweet.
It's true. And as everyone else runs off terrified, Kat, James, and the ghostly trio just keep dancing.
I love it.
To the ghostly trio's music, no less. Who knew those three had such pipes? What a fun way to end the movie. Seriously, it's one of those movies that just makes you feel good,
Totally. It's so rewatchable. And I think a lot of that has to do with, the characters, right?
Absolutely.
And speaking of the characters, we got to talk about this cast. I mean, Christina Ricci as Kat.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
She was so good.
She just brought this perfect blend of vulnerability and strength to the role.
Right. She was so awkward and kind of shy, but also, you knew Kat was going to be okay,
Exactly.
And then there's Bill Pullman as James Harvey. I mean, talk about perfect casting. He was so charming.
Oh, totally. He's such a lovable goofball trying to figure out this whole ghost therapist thing.
Right. But those ghost actors, for the ghosts.
Don't even get me started.
I mean, Malachi Pearson as Casper, he gave him this sweetness, this innocence. It just melts your heart.
It's true.
And the ghostly trio.
Oh, man. Joe Napodi, Joe Alasky, Brad Garrett.
Oh, good.
They were perfectly cast.
Comedic geniuses. But hold on, we have to talk about the special effects.
Yeah.
I mean, this was 1995, and those ghosts, they looked so real.
I know. It was groundbreaking for the time.
I remember watching in the theater, how did they do that? How is Casper hanging out with real people?
Right.
It was seamless.
It's crazy how well those effects hold up. Even today, they don't look dated or anything.
Not at all. It really shows you how talented everyone on that team was.
Absolutely.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into Casper, I have to ask, what's your final verdict? Does it still hold up?
100%. It's one of those movies that's just timeless,
Yeah.
It's not just a fun 90s movie. It's about friendship and loss and moving on. And those are themes that never get old.
Right.
It's a movie that reminds you it's okay to feel your feelings, to laugh and cry and just, embrace it all.
Oh, I love that.
Solid 4 out of 5 Casper approved thumbs up from me.
I agree. A heartwarming, hilarious, and surprisingly deep movie. So, whether you're revisiting Casper or watching it for the first time, get ready for a great time. And that's a wrap on another deep dive. Be sure to let us know your favorite Casper moments in the comments below. And hey, while you're at it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into all sorts of fascinating topics. See you next time.